Well, what is Drupal? Drupal is a content management system. It's a CMS with tens of thousands of add-on features. Well, what's a content management system? A content management system isn't like the old days. I've been around web design for a long time, and in the old days, we would create these files that interlinked between each other using HTML, upload them to the internet, and have 10, 20, 100, 1,000 pages on a website, but each page was its own separate file. Now, some people still do that today, but it's not the most efficient way to manage a large website. A content management system then comes along and says, well, let's split that up. And so when you come to a web page and click on a link, the first thing that happens is the content management system, which in our case is Drupal. It's made up of PHP, Ajax, JavaScript, and brings with it all kinds of functionality, says, oh, they want the content from this particular area of the website. And all of that content is stored in a database. And then Drupal says, oh, they want that content to have a particular look and style. This is your creative design, your page layout, your information architecture, your usability, and that's all built into a theme in Drupal. So with Drupal, we have a database that contains the content and a theme that holds all of the look and feel and design of your site. And so when the boss comes along and says, hey, we've just updated our logo, and you need to update 1,000 pages on your website, a content management system like Drupal says, no problemo, we'll just update it in one place, and your entire site will be updated in an instant. Now, if you remember back like I do to the old days, and your boss comes in and says, we've updated our logo, would you please update all of our pages? You begin to weep, because that's going to take quite a bit of time. Or let's say you have a really cool section on the left-hand side of your site that reflects the most recent content. In the old days, you'd have to update that little block on every page it resides, every time you add a new page to your site. With Drupal, it's automatic. You don't even have to think about it. So a content management system gives you some unbelievable advantages, and it also comes with a whole bunch of software built in so you don't have to replicate it. Well, what is the Drupal business model? Drupal is open source, so therefore Drupal is free, and that's the nature of open source software. You can download it, use it, change it even, and it's all free, and because it's open source, it's licensed to you to use and to change and even redistribute if you want. Well, who is Drupal? Drupal was founded in 2000 by Dries Buytaert, who was a student at the University of Belgium at the time. He actually created it in his dorm room as a chat client for some of the other students that he knew. This is Dries at DrupalCon London. I actually took this picture. I was pretty close to the front row. It's one of my favorite pictures of a DrupalCon. And Dries is still the driving force behind Drupal today. Well, Drupal is volunteers. The stats on the screen, 97,737 users as of the recording of this video, and all of them are volunteers when they make commits and add comments. When you decide to get involved in the Drupal community, you do so as a volunteer. Your modules are free for people to use. Your contributions to core is done of your own free will. Now, how does that work? Well, Drupal companies will sponsor people or help people to work on Drupal core and modules in order to further the project along. While that might sound counterintuitive if you're involved in a large corporation, believe me, it works, and it works really well. The numbers speak for themselves. Well, what's the history of Drupal? It's been around since 2000. It was a chat platform. 2001 saw version 1, 2, and 3. 2002 version 4. The really stable and very popular version of Drupal came in 2007 with Drupal 5, Drupal 6, and then Drupal 7 in 2011 saw Drupal really skyrocket into many, many areas, as we'll see in just a minute. And of course, Drupal 8 being released in 2015. Drupal has become a core content management system that has add-ons called modules and themes. They can be all packaged up into what's called distributions, and as I mentioned, there's a huge community around Drupal. We'll talk more about each of those through the course. This is a picture of the very first DrupalCon in 2005. Not very many people showed up to the first DrupalCon, but what started there has turned into a massive worldwide movement with tens of thousands of people having attended DrupalCons now throughout the years. You can watch Dries' perspective on the history of Drupal from DrupalCon Los Angeles, where there were about 3,800 people, at the YouTube link on the screen. Well, who uses Drupal? The White House uses Drupal. Weather.com uses Drupal. Harvard University uses Drupal. The Dallas Cowboys use Drupal. And even Lady Gaga uses Drupal. Now, I want to assure you throughout this class, there's no false promises here. We're going to talk in the next video about how unbelievably powerful Drupal is, and so I want you to understand there's a learning curve. Someone has depicted it this way: ModX, WordPress, Joomla, and then they added Drupal. Well, I can promise you it's not quite that bad. And throughout this class, we're going to help you see all of the main aspects of Drupal to get you started on all the Drupal goodness there is out there to have. That's why we're here. OSTraining and Acquia have teamed up to bring you this course, and we're really excited that you'll be joining us as we work our way through this beginner class in Drupal.